Okay, hi. This is Peter. You may have seen me elsewhere. This is me talking about Resolve HDR or Resolve Housing Disrepair. The object of housing, should I say Resolve HDR, is to help out tenants, social housing tenants, council tenants, who have had issues with their accommodation. Issues whereby they have reported it to their landlord and the landlord have not fixed it. Maybe they've just ignored you, or maybe they've come round and done a bodge job and you're still living with the effects of that disrepair. This is very important for you on a number of levels. First and foremost, for your physical comfort. You do not have to live in physical discomfort because the landlord hasn't done repairs which they're responsible for. Under the Landlord and Tenant Act of 1985, under Section 11, the landlord is required to carry out repairs which are reported to them within a reasonable amount of time. And if they do not do that, then they fell foul of that particular law, and you can hold them to account. The other areas of which is important, obviously, is for your mental health. Now, often I speak with tenants, and one of the reasons for their disrepair is because they've made complaints to their landlord, and their landlord just haven't really attended to it. And so now what they've done is they've incorporated those disrepairs into their life. And that can mean certain things. For example, if you have like mold in your bedroom, or say you have mold in your front room, for example. So the mold is pretty bad and it's got spores. The damp and mold is pretty bad, it's got spores. It could affect your breathing. You could have asthma, blocked nose. You might not even be aware that it is because of the damp and the mold. Likewise, you will be less inclined to want to invite people into your home for the embarrassment of people seeing the way in which you're living. Yeah, so you just incorporate things where you say, oh yeah, let's meet up down the local or to the cinema or at the shops, anywhere but your own home, because you are ashamed of the way in which it's looking, and that's nothing to do with you. It's to do with the landlord's responsibility of putting it right. Now, what we do, quite frankly, is we would inspect your property and we would make an assessment as to um, whether the landlord is liable to do those repairs, if they've been notified but they haven't acted on it and so they've been negligent. We would also check to see how bad the disrepairs are. So, for example, if it's just a case of you've got sort of let's say your address is 66 and there's 2 screws missing and it's now showing 99 on your door, that's nothing to contact us just because it's saying, that's something which your council and anyone's going to say you can do that repair yourself, or get the council to do it. No solicitor will get out of bed for something like that. No, what we would do is we'd make an assessment to see how serious it is and whether it's worthwhile for particular specialist solicitors to get involved. Now, when we do the survey and we put it to a solicitor, it might be 1, it might be 2, depending on what it is. Okay, once we've placed your situation to a solicitor and they've agreed to take up the case, you can relax and be rest assured there's nothing else really for you to do. The solicitor will get in contact with your landlord. Yep. And the probability of it being successful is extremely high. And that is why you pay nothing. It is a no-win, no-fee situation. The solicitors make their money 2 ways, really. Obviously through their fees, and they know there's a high probability that the fees are going to be covered, and they take a small percentage or a percentage of the compensation which you would get. Okay, So you don't really have to do anything. The important thing is that these repairs will be taken seriously by your landlord, and you will be compensated for the misery which you've had to go through. Now, I'm quite passionate about this because there's a lot of people who are living in pretty bad uh, accommodation through no fault of their own, none. Uh, when I've been to a number of housing estates, and some of these housing estates are vast, vast. And I would estimate that probably about 15 to 20%, let's just say 15% of those homes within those estates are in a state of disrepair. Now, when you're in your own home, you sometimes you suck it up and you tolerate it. But when you replicate it across the whole estate or across the whole of the landlords, the social housing landlords, housing stock, the the savings which they are making on not doing those repairs are considerable, considerable. And they are collecting your rent. If you don't pay your rent, you will hear about it very, very quickly. Yeah, they have all sorts of devices, hear about it very quickly, even push you towards sometimes the threatening of eviction. Yeah, they have a responsibility too, because if they're receiving rent from you, yeah, and you've been paying your rent as you ought to on a normal basis, then they have to fulfill their side of the bargain, which is making sure that your accommodation is fit for habitation. Now, there are certain laws which have been put in place, I think in 2018, uh, for for fit for habitation, yeah, which is sort of upgraded the threshold for tenants upon which they need to live. So this is just a question of exercising your rights. You don't need to be afraid. You're not going to get evicted because you're bringing your landlord to account. Yeah, that's very important. Just because you've made a complaint against your landlord doesn't mean to say that your landlord is going to get nasty to you uh, in regards to eviction. They can't do that. They have a responsibility to make sure that your accommodation is, uh, you know, habitable. Yeah. Now, obviously, you've got a responsibility to keep it as clean and tidy in a certain manner, but that doesn't necessarily mean doing certain sort of repairs, structural repairs, or stuff like that based on their disrepair. So, in the instance that you think that you may have an issue, and these issues could be such things as damp, mold, leaking, uh, the boiler's not working, windows not fitting, severe condensation, uh, you know, door totally insecure, even infestation, yeah, with mice or rats or whatever, yeah. Then what I suggest is that you visit our website, put your details down, report it, and we will try and get someone around there, a claims surveyor, to assess whether or not it would meet the threshold and that you would have some sort of um, uh, sort of right to make that claim. Yep, that's it. If you have any comments, please put them below. Yep, and we're happy to help. Now, here's the thing. Resolve HDR, we are a small organization, but it's founded by me. And I've been a social tenant for a long, long time, decades, early 80s. And I myself have actually gone through the process, whereby I have gone through the process where I've taken the landlords to court and I received some good compensation. The the disrepair was fixed, and I was happy with the service. And I was so happy with the service that that's what got me the idea of actually, it's not just me who's going through this. There's many, many others, but maybe they're not aware or not as feisty. So sometimes you do need your hand held to go through the process. The most important thing is you don't have to put up with it. Yeah, you shouldn't be living like this. You don't have to put up with it. It's our job to try and make sure that the landlord restores your home to a condition which when you first walked in. Okay, that's it really. If you have any comments, just drop me an email or visit our website, which is www.resolvehdr.com.